So, as we mentioned at the start, retention and persistence is one of the most pressing challenges facing higher education right now. And institutional leaders are always on the lookout for ways to drive that persistence. According to our surveys, 70.2% of students say Genio Notes has helped them to stay in school, which is pretty massive. And 65.8% of students who are actively considering dropping out decided to stay. So that is music to our ears at Genio, because it means that people's potential is more likely to be reached. People are staying in education and they're learning and they are feeling better in their studies. And that's all we can really ask for. A few other stats there: 66.4% say it's helped them stay in their current major. And I think it's 75.7% of first-gen students say Genio Notes help them to stay in school. So depending on the segment, you've got different figures. So some of the ones I've shown you are averages. And here's a quote that speaks to me directly as someone with ADHD. ADHD makes listening and writing difficult. With Genio, I do not have to worry about one of those two things. When I use Genio, I'm able to devote all of my attention to the lecture. And that's from Crystal at Arizona State. And obviously, there's been quite an increase in neurodivergence and accommodations relating to that. And I think that, as I understand it, there are a lot of pressures there. And those students, I'm speaking as an ADHD student in the past, it's really very difficult to keep up with everything and feel like you're on top of things. So when I first was introduced to Genio, I was like, I wish I'd had this when I was at university. It really would have helped. So yeah, this one's dear to my heart. So let's have a quick recap on what we've covered. 82% of students feel more confident when taking notes with Genio Notes. 72.2% of students say Genio Notes has helped them stay in school. And 85.5% of students say they can better manage large amounts of information, which is pretty great. And then what does that mean for you? I think we skipped over this slide at the beginning, so we'll hold it on that while I just go back and talk through some of the points. So we know from talking to many of you that note-taking admin is time-consuming. It can be stressful. There are absolutely reasons why you might need peer note takers. In some cases, we're not saying that this is a blanket approach, but we know that peer note takers are notoriously difficult to manage. Time spent on note-taking accommodations means less time for one-to-one support for those that need it most. And for some institutions, the cost is high, whether that's the actual administration cost, and I think some institutions even pay peer note takers. And there's also concerns around note-taking provision and compliance. And increased demand equals increased pressure. So in terms of what sort of centralized note-taking platforms can do for you, that's a reduction in note-taking admin time, a reduction in note-taking admin cost, and we hope that it helps support your reality of having to do more with less.